my last 3 videos, I gave you information on psychomotor overexcitability and shared my own experiences living with it. In this video, I'm going to explain overexcitability number 2, sensual overexcitability, by answering 4 questions. The first one is, what is it? Let's find out. 1. What's sensual overexcitability? Sensual overexcitability means you experience sounds, sights, touch, smell, and/or tastes in a heightened way. You might intensely enjoy or even crave certain sensory experiences, while other forms of sensory stimulation make you feel stressed, angry, or upset. Children with sensual overexcitability can get sick from the smell of certain foods, or, as toddlers, will hate to walk on grass in their bare feet. The pleasure people get from the tastes and textures of some foods may cause them to overeat. And if you ask the questions, does your child hate the feeling of labels on her clothes? Is he picky about what sweaters he'll wear or the texture of foods? Does she find certain noises excruciating? If so, or if he's more sensitive than most children to other types of sensory input, he might have sensual overexcitabilities. If your child does have sensual overexcitability, you may notice several of the following 3 traits. 1. Your kid has a craving for pleasure. 2. Your child has a need or desire for comfort. And 3. He or she possesses a sensitivity to pollution. 2. What are more examples of sensual overexcitability? Those with sensual overexcitability have a far more expansive experience from their sensual input than the average person. They have an increased and early appreciation of aesthetic pleasures such as music, stories, nature, language, and art. They have an intense attraction and deep appreciation for all of that. Furthermore, they derive endless delight from tastes, smells, textures, sounds, and sights. But because of this increased sensitivity, they may also feel overstimulated or uncomfortable with sensory input. For example, children may be overwhelmed and nauseated from certain smells, or resist the feeling of shoes and socks. They might dislike tags in their clothes, or want to wear their socks inside out to prevent feeling the seams. Children might want to touch people at inappropriate moments, or may be unable to cope with being touched themselves. Others may withdraw from stimulation because it just becomes too much to handle. As I touched upon earlier, they can get overwhelmed by what they see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Sensually overexcitable children may find clothing tags, classroom noise, or smells from the cafeteria so distracting that schoolwork becomes secondary. On the other hand, these children may also seek out certain tastes, noises, smells, textures, etc. They can crave them and become so absorbed in their love of a particular piece of art or music that the outside world ceases to exist. However, sensual overexcitability can also be highly distracting. People with sensual overexcitability may have difficulty concentrating when a lamp is flickering or when certain music is playing, and, as I said earlier, may become overwhelmed by noise and busy places. The Strip in Vegas is not a great place for someone with sensual overexcitability. The opposite can also be true though, which results in the fact that they might need a certain stimulus, like music, to be able to concentrate. Finally, when they feel emotionally tense, some people with sensual overexcitability may overeat, go on buying sprees, have an abundant amount of sex, get an inclination to develop eating disorders or addictions, or seek the physical sensation of being the center of attraction. I'm sorry for throwing in this picture here. I couldn't help it. 3. So how can we, or you, help gifted people with sensual overexcitability? Firstly, sensual overexcitability can be mistaken for a characteristic of autism, which might make it harder to detect. Another reason why it may be harder to detect is the fact that it can be difficult to distinguish the difference between sensory processing disorder and sensual overexcitability. While a child may be easily diagnosed with sensory processing disorder, the usual interventions for it may not work in the typical way for a child who has sensual overexcitability. So what can you do? The good news is that therapies which work with sensory processing disorder can help a child with sensual overexcitabilities too. Therapies can teach people with sensual overexcitability to regulate and understand their sensory needs. What they, or we, often need is the addition of both intellectual stimulation and imagination. 4. What are great things about having sensual overexcitability? People with sensual overexcitability are the people who turn trips to art galleries and theater plays into a wonderful experience. Their awareness and appreciation of the world is infectious, and their passion is brilliant. So sensual overexcitability is positive because it offers a greater enjoyment of life. This heightened ability allows art, music, beautiful objects, the lyrics of a song or a poem, food and drinks to be enjoyed on a completely different level. This information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video. And there you have it. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. In 4 weeks, I'll be back with a new video in this series on intellectual giftedness. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you back in my next video.